From Shakespeare to funny gypsy crystals, witchcraft is pervasive in both our histories and our real life. Our pastimes are filled with witches and wizards. Born between the time periods of -2000 and the 1800s? Go hunt some witches! 1997 to the heat death of the universe. You can read and or watch Harry Potter. Now what do wizards do for fun? Well, they play sports, of course! I shouldn't need to tell you about Quidditch, the full contact aerial wizard sport. The Ministry's favorite pastime? Two teams of minimum B-tier wizards get on brooms, fly around, beat each other on sticks, and try and score some sweet hoops. All while the nimble seeker dashes through the air? The pitch. Now what if I told you, right now, probably in Texas, real wizards are playing real Quidditch in the real world?
Hit it, girl. Hit it, girl. Hit it, girl.
Drop it. Yeah.
The greatest of these IRL Quidditch players being Josh Johnson, a player who I definitely didn't just arbitrarily pick because his name sounded like a comic book character. No, it's because he shares his name with an NFL player, and his name sounds like a comic book character. So, between these two S-tier wizards, who's the most stupendous? And yes, Gandalf is really only bedraggled here. First off, intelligence. Being an adult, Josh has presumably graduated high school, and thus can do basic arithmetic. Unlike Mr. Drop That a Charms class over here. Advantage JJ. A big part of the wizard lifestyle is keeping your secret wizard society a secret. Considering Quidditch, or Quadball, is a real thing you can Google on the World Wide Web and has a website, you'd think the point would go to Harry. But Harry is a surprisingly very unsmooth operator, nearly exposing the wizarding world on several occasions. Window magic drives this flying car above London. Inflation fetish flies broom in public with wizard gang. Reads a magical newspaper with moving images and general magic related news in a regular people cafe. Wizard fight against fascists. And finally, rides an actual fucking dragon across London and above the English countryside. On top of all that, Harry's the most famous person alive. Who the fuck wrote this? O.C. Mary Sue. In the case of Johnson, I spent days trying to find any piece of information on him or any other current Quadball player. The most substantial thing I could find is this guy claiming to be the tallest player in the league. The Quadball clan is certainly as enigmatic as they are athletic. You would think the lack of any info on one of the two competitors would make this video not worth doing. Point J squared. Next, let's take a look at their skill sets. You know, we've been building up to this for a while, and I'm sure this is why everybody's watching. So what is Quadball, or real-life Quidditch? Quadball is a full-contact sport, which takes a lot of elements from rugby, and some of the long-range warfare options from dodgeball. If you've seen Harry Potter, it's super similar on a high-level perspective. There are 7 players on each team. Chasers, who score points by throwing the quad ball through one of these hoops. Beaters, who knock opponents out by hitting them with dodgeballs. Keeper's a goalie, that's the easy one. Now the Seeker is the most different from the movies. The Seeker's job is still to hunt down the golden snitch. But the Quadball League doesn't have access to a tiny supersonic golden ball. To compensate for this, at the 20-minute mark, one of the referees will stop being a referee and put on a golden t-shirt and put a flag in his back pocket. And then the two Seekers will start pseudo-wrestling with one another. In an effort to grab the flag first. Oh, and by the way, you might have noticed that all participants are required to mount a broom at all times. Originally, this was an actual broom, although over the years, the design has been adopted into a sleek, dare I say sexy, 3-foot rod. Oh, and fun fact, the league is unisex. So fellas, if you ever want to find a couple of witches, and you're looking for some magic, you know where to find it. Now, all the actions Harry takes in Quidditch are aided by his broom. 3D maneuver gear is simply a very powerful tool. But is Josh? Or is he carried purely by physicality and his skill? Now, despite not being magically abled, me and all of you can test this one at home. While to you, this may look like your standard home edition broom, to me it is my royal steed. My goal is to gauge my physical prowess while using a broom. Is it hampered my ability, or is there magic flowing through it after all? That was my attempt at a grapevine. You can see having the pole between your legs really makes any kind of lateral movement a challenge. Push-ups, on the other hand, were quite easy. The somewhat embarrassing thing is that you have to stand like an anime uwu girl if you intend to not use any hands. Hands are almost a requirement. You can see fight in form, it's just not on point. So in conclusion, running is more difficult than magically flying. Meaning once again, pure American muscle beats pale British frailty. Johnson's experience as a hand-to-hand combatant, as a quadball seeker, means that frankly, he would have ended Voldemort right here.
Let's finish this the way we started. Together!
Finally, while Harry may be a high-level spellcaster, we can otherwise consider him Amish. Chimney-based communications? Discord. Goblin banks? E-transfer. Murder spell? Johnson plays for Texas. There's probably a gun show around. So point, Josh Johnson.
Yeah!
Because I'm unbiased. If Harry Potter is Wizard Naruto, then real life should be Mashal. A world where no matter what, hard work can take you where you want to be. A world where the circumstances of your birth don't define you. The traits that make you, no matter how unconventional, don't mean you deserve any less in life. Where what sets you apart can be what takes you to the top. J.K. Rowling, you bigot. Let's tally up the scores. Well, Harry didn't actually win any rounds. This is the sound I would have played if he had. Brilliant. So Josh wins. Alright, Josh, if you're listening, pressure's on, buddy. If you out yourself as a transphobe, my reputation's ruined now. So do me a solid, please.